Responsible leader knows that the key to a successful program leadership, whether it be running the city, running a corporation, is selecting good people to be your advisors. And that's why I've identified two people that will help me from a financial standpoint. I'll have a lot to learn in a very short period of time, but I think I have two people that will be able to do that and work with me. The first is former Mayor Mike Licata, to my left, and Mike was mayor for 6 years, and he certainly knows the budgeting process for the city, and having served on the Board of Education for the last 4 years, I'm sorry, he certainly understands their budgeting process. So he'll provide a great deal of knowledge to our budgeting process. The other individual, also to my left, is Wayne Bragg. Some people don't know Wayne very well. Wayne is retired from Sikorsky, United Technologies, where he was their comptroller. He's currently on the faculty of University of Connecticut Executive MBA program down at Stanford. So he brings some great business knowledge, and for the last 2 years he's served on the Board of Apportionment and Taxation, so he also understands the current city budget. And what Wayne has done is prepared a paper, as a professor normally does. They get professorial, and they prepared a paper looking at the city's method of budgeting. And you have copies of that paper, and Wayne will be here to answer your questions. But essentially, one of the biggest problems is the city has a reserve account, and those companies that rate us for a bonding purposes expect the city to have a reserve account of about 5%. And the city does that by mixing that in with the regular operating budget, which really clouds the issue. And oftentimes they hide it in the number of employees that they budget for. And in a recent Herald article about the police department, showed that we're budgeting for 61 police officers and we have a total of 50. So you can see that that's where that $1 million every year comes out. And that's something that we want to change. We want to take this out of the shadows and bring it forward so that we have budgets for the different departments that truly reflect what the departments need to operate and to spend. So that then I, as mayor, can hold the department heads accountable for their budget. Perhaps if we had had a more realistic budget, the city would not have lost almost $1 million in the recent financial scandal that we're still trying to sort through. So by doing this and by having line items identified as the reserve account, we can then manage our money better, put the money away. One other thing that I want to get back to is something that happened when Mike was mayor. We started to put money away for purchasing of items like fire trucks and police vehicles. Right now, we bond everything. We use our bonding ability like a credit card. And while right now money is inexpensive, it's not always going to be inexpensive. And you don't want to live on the credit card. Every year, the Board of Aldermen approve almost $3 million in bonding for fire trucks, for police cars, for lawn mowers, for firefighter turnout gear, a lot of things that should be in the regular operating budget. You and I would put it in our operating budget at home. I do in my own business. When we go out to buy equipment, we figure out what that's going to be, and when we put it in our budget, and that's what the city should be doing as well. So what we're going to do is turn our budget process into a much more transparent document so that the citizens really know what it's costing to run the city. They know what the reserve account is so that we have it in case of emergencies, in case of blizzards, that we have the money in case we don't get the types of grants or funding from the state that we expect for education. It's going to be there to support us, and we can build up a cash reserve for purchasing large items. Certainly you use bonding when you're going to build a school, you're going to put an addition on, but we could easily fund maintenance of the roads through our regular operating budget instead of every couple of years borrowing $3 to $5 million. So at this point, I'll open it up.